Welcome back to Risque Business News. I'm your host, Laura.
And I'm Mae. And today on the podcast, we are taking out a big one. Okay, this is a really big one. I'm a little intimidated. I'm a little scared. We're talking about Britney Spears and her fucking shit going on.
And
see how nervous I am?
And all that.
Yeah, her conservatorship. And the Free Britney movement, all that jazz. And to help us out today, because listen, I knew the surface level stuff. I obviously did some research, but we also have a special guest, friend of the pod, pop culture enthusiast, dare I say expert, Kelly Taylor.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Hell yeah, it's gonna be a banger. And yeah, we're gonna have fun.
Enjoy.
Where's the money? I don't understand how you make money.
Hold on.
From that, though.
2 stand-up comics in New York City.
Just learned a lot of this stuff. I'm going to ask all the stupid questions that you might be thinking at home, but are afraid to ask people.
Making it to where you feel like you're too stupid to be able to ever engage in it, they win.
Why the fuck are they doing this?
It's to make money. It's Risque Business News.
Oh my God. I can't believe it's finally here.
I know.
I feel like we've talked about this day, about freeing Britney for ages. We will send each other her Instagrams every once in a while and be like, we gotta fucking talk about this lady. we gotta cover what's going on here.
Well, if anybody's been following her since she's had complete control, quote unquote, we think of her. We don't know.
Spoiler
of her social media. I'm like, maybe it wasn't such a bad idea.
Oh my God, is that our conclusion?
Well, I'm sort of like, maybe there should be some parameters.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she's unhinged.
So,
like, are you kidding me? She's posting these like completely naked photos with like a little like kitty cat on her vagina.
Yeah.
It's a pussy. You know, you get it? Like pussy.
Right. Unhinged.
Yeah, she is unhinged. She is an adult woman who was super overly sexualized as a child. I'm sorry, I hate to say it.
Yeah.
And I feel like she just got social media for real.
Yeah.
So
right.
she's like when we all first got fucking MySpace and Facebook.
Absolutely.
And we were the most cringy, at least I can speak for myself, the most cringy person I've ever.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
bad.
Do you get
and she's doing that, but with sex. And
as a 40-year-old woman.
I get what you're saying, but no. I get what you're saying, but
But it's
absolutely
too far.
fucking not. I'm like, people
I
are like,
don't know.
oh, remember when like we were on fucking, I don't know, like Pinterest
when I was
doing
like,
this crazy shit.
just
I'm like,
took a
no.
shower.
Do you get the
No,
Facebook?
never.
Do you get the Facebook notifications of like check your timeline from this day? You know,
Yes,
in years
yes,
past.
yes.
Thank God for that feature because now I can go back and delete how I was posting that the fireworks were gay.
Exactly.
I put that on the internet.
Exactly.
Yo, fireworks, kind of gay.
Exactly.
That's
According
an astute
to
observation.
16-year-old me, they were.
Kelly,
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
I exactly know what you're talking about because you see also this picture where you're like, I've never seen this picture
Never.
before. The fact that
Oh
it is
my
on
God.
the internet
Yep.
is
I have an
egregious.
eyelash right here. It's
I have
like-
no eyebrows.
Yeah,
None.
no,
I don't
no.
have eyebrows. I plucked them all off.
I also would post these horrific like quality photos where you're just completely in the dark. Yeah. I posted this one where I was completely in the dark with my friend Michael Signorelli. Shout out to Michael
Friend of the
Signorelli.
pod?
Friend
Yeah.
of the pod. And we're like in the dark in this club in Boston. And then just the caption just says Chronicles of Narnia. Like, I don't know what the fuck we're talking
It
about.
was really funny to you guys at the time.
It
for
was
sure.
like this hilarious inside joke for sure. And now
Yeah.
it made no sense to anybody besides the two of
It's
us.
not
And
bad
I was like,
'cause
let
you're
me
like,
post
the
this.
back of the closet kind of thing.
Yeah.
I see where you were going with that, but yeah, it's not a great post.
Yeah.
I don't see where we were going. I don't know what the fuck. But even still, it was not it wasn't me twirling around from an angle like this in a bikini.
That's true. Yeah.
What if Britney eventually becomes mentally stable again, and then her time hop is her just doing all these photos?
I wish that for her. I hope
She's
that
like,
for her so
oh,
intensely.
no.
Well, here's a
Oh
theory.
God, I gotta delete that one too.
Here's a theory, and it's a pretty good one. I think is that she acts like it's still the early 2000s.
Yes.
Like all
Yes,
of her
that's what I'm
clothes,
saying,
the way
yeah.
that she looks,
Yes.
like her hair, her makeup, like everything about her is very early 2000s. And I think like this is what I've heard anyway, is that people that are drug addicts, for example, or maybe like schizophrenic or something like that, they're stuck in the time that they developed the illness or the addiction. So I'm wondering if that's part of it.
dark.
Like she's still stuck in the early 2000s because that's when the conservatorship, or I guess it happened in 2008, but
Yeah.
late 2000s. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, that's why she looks and behaves the way that she does, because in her mind, not that it's still 2008, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
You know?
a good theory.
I agree with that in her being stuck in that time period. I think it's more trauma related.
Right.
I think her being we'll get into it, but I think she was imprisoned.
Yeah.
And I think that she is stuck in that. It's like
Agreed.
she was
Well, it's
jailed.
also like what people say about like if you've been molested as a kid, a lot of those people, they talk like this and da da da. And now I'm like telling this story. I'm like, and anyway, people that have been molested like a kid, I'm like being like, I was not molested as a kid.
anything about that.
This is my natural voice. But that's like a common thing as well, because they're stuck as like a little kid when when the trauma happened to them. So she was in prison potentially. Kelly thinks so. And
she was
then-
imprisoned. Here's the thing.
we'll get
I'm
into
coming
it.
in as, I guess, the straight man in this because I don't know.
Totally.
I know him like she has good bops, good
Yeah.
music.
Great
She's some
bops.
crazy Instagrams. You're
Boy,
telling
does
me
she.
that and I know she's obviously got mental health struggles. That's literally the extent of like what I really know about this girl.
Yeah, and also it's kind of to me it's so interesting because it's like a chicken or the egg. It's like, okay, did her fame make her go insane, or was she have a predisposition for whatever she has? She clearly has a diagnosable.
Yeah.
I think the fame made her go insane because I did see an interview. I guess we're jumping ahead here, but I saw an interview of her with oh fuck, I'm not
Oprah?
gonna remember. No, not Oprah, but it was like a talk show.
Matt Lauer.
No, with the Roseanne. No, not Roseanne.
Roseanne?
The View, Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes, Rosie O'Donnell, and it was like the only one where they were like being normal to her and not
Interesting.
like overtly sexual,
Yeah,
and just being like, "You are a little girl. Do you have like dreams and stuff like that?" And she was
Yeah.
addressing it. It was very sweet, and I
They
was like,
weren't-
"Wow, I'm not used to seeing her being addressed like a human being,
Yeah.
like you would an
Right.
actual fucking child in
Right.
that instance."
yeah. How old was she
So-
when Baby hit? What was it?
Like,
Baby hit me one more time.
I'm gonna make
or-
this up. 15.
I want to say 16, 17, but
Yeah.
she was young.
very young.
Yeah.
Damn. Also, the Mouseketeers, all that shit's super weird.
Also, Hit Me Baby One More Time is so absurdly sexual.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Like, I cannot believe that a child released that song.
That is
and
crazy.
us
I
as a
feel like-
country didn't
Us
say,
as
"Oh, you
children,
can't
yeah.
you can't release that as a song
No,
because you're
no.
a fucking child."
And like
that's
old men would watch her in this school uniform and be like,
Oh.
sexy.
And we would gyrate as children to the song.
my God, my parents were they were like, "You cannot listen to any of this shit." And they,
Really?
and I'm like, in retrospect, at the time, I was like, they are so uncool. And in retrospect, they were uncool, but they were also right. You
Yeah.
know, they were 100% right because my parents were like, "I'm from fucking Germany,
Right.
And
Yeah.
that is fucking weird. That's
Right.
I guess
not
it is-
okay."
It is kind of weird. I don't know. I was a latchkey kid, so I just showed up and watched TRL after work.
After work.
I mean,
Long day with a glass
also
of
had to
wine.
Yeah.
I was also a child laborer, so
Yeah. Imagine if I was a child laborer. Wow, I could do a one-woman show about that.
you could. That would have been great.
I know, right?
Hit the fringe with
I
that
have
one.
like absolutely no trauma. What a horrible plight of mine.
Yeah. Okay. But
All right, here we go. So let's talk a little bit about what the fuck a conservatorship is, because I feel like the only context in which people have heard this is Britney, and
Yes.
now also Michael.
yes.
Or I think is how you say his last name, from The Blind Side. who-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a whole nother can of worms. So we'll talk about that
Probably
in more
dictates
extent.
its own episode, but if you haven't heard about this, like the highlight is the guy from The Blind Side who thought he was adopted was not adopted. He was
No.
conservatorshipped.
Yeah, and it was really weird, and they were trying to like profit off of him. It was like very strange. I don't know. That's like the highlights that I've read anyway.
Yeah,
but-
it sounds like they were just not necessarily doing the right thing for him. Which fucking obviously, if you watch that movie and weren't a little bit uncomfortable,
Right.
come on.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I wonder what Sandra Bullock thinks. She's just like, I don't know, man. I was collecting a check. It was a gig.
Yeah, she was hired for the gig. I'm not
Yeah.
expecting her
I
to
heard,
like.
I saw something online that she's sad about it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
no,
also,
fair, so.
her partner just died, so I think
Yeah.
she's like,
Oh,
I
so
just
she's
kind of having a
She's
She's
time.
like, dude, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. Like, whatever.
Very sad about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay, conservatorship. What the fuck is it? It is a legal status in which a court appoints a person to manage the financial and personal affairs of either a minor or an incapacitated person. So a conservator may also serve as a guardian who is responsible for establishing and monitoring physical care of the individual and managing their living arrangements. So basically they have to prove, like in court, that an individual is incapacitated in some way, basically by mental health or a disability such as dementia, something like that, that would prevent them from making sound financial and personal decisions.
So are conservators always like, I mean, I guess they're traditionally family members.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like, so for instance, if you went into hospice or something like that, do they take on conservatorship sometimes? I'm sorry, I'm like going to quiz you on the fucking
I would imagine.
details of.
Yeah.
At least power of attorney.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure what the
power
difference
of
is, but-
attorney I think is more of an end of life thing, whereas conservatorship is, you have a newly turned 18 severely autistic person in need of guardianship.
Right.
So that's where conservatorship comes in.
Like my
I
boyfriend.
actually
Yeah, literally.
like all of our, like every
Yeah.
boyfriend out there.
That's actually funny because I saw somewhere that Diane Feinstein had given away what did I just say?
Oh, her power of
Power
attorney.
of attorney. And
I
was
saw
like,
that, and she's still fucking voting for this country.
Oh yeah.
but I was like, oh, that's for end of life, and I was like, but Diane, oh yeah, that's
Oh
for
yeah,
end of
no,
life.
she's,
Yeah.
But meanwhile, she is still showing up.
she's
to
here on adrenochrome alone. Like literally, let's be fucking real.
She's in the U.S. government. She's like climate change. She's like, I don't give a shit.
I have
I will not be here for the hurricane next week. I don't even care about. Who cares?
She's like, my fucking handler is just telling me how to vote. I just say whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell is going on. I mean, this country, it's unbelievable, truly. Okay, so back to conservatorships. A lot of celebrities, as you might imagine, have been under these before. Like Britney definitely got the most. Oh, so many. Almost everyone. So literally almost everyone.
Oh, wait, can I get? We have some examples. I want to hear.
Lindsay Lohan, Amanda Bynes, Brian Wilson
Amanda
from
Bynes
the Beach
makes
Boys, Joni Mitchell, Charlie Sheen, Aaron Carter, Demi Lovato, Amy Winehouse, Frances Bean, who is
Demi Lovato was.
Frances
Still is.
No. That's what makes Britney's case unique, is that it's lasted an extremely long time, where some of these are temporary. Like if you go into rehab or something, then there's a conservatorship over your funds and over your things for a little while until you can get your back on your feet. Also, somebody who is currently in one is Tom Girardi, who is Erica Jane's ex-husband from Real Housewives.
I didn't know that.
So he has Alzheimer's.
Oh, that's sad.
So that's why all of his shit is in a conservatorship. So yeah, I mean, almost everyone.
All the queens from the early 2000s will tell
That's
you that.
everybody right there.
It's
I don't
like
know.
pretty much everyone, dude. Also, Mariah Carey was almost put in one, but wasn't for some reason. I don't know, because she's such a diva. She's just like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, she goes,
You
She's,
literally
I don't
can't
want
make
to.
me.
And they're like, oh, that's a fair point. She doesn't
Wow.
want to.
I
She
hadn't
does
thought
not
about
want
that.
to, ladies and gentlemen.
Amanda Bynes is still in one. Remember a few years ago
Yeah.
she had that was like at least 5 years ago at this point.
Yeah, that was a Britney Spears level freak
At
out.
least 5 years ago.
Yeah.
No, that was that was almost 10 years ago. Or
What? Really?
yeah.
What'd she do again?
I'm
I just
so
remember
old.
she took those weird pictures in the mirror or something
Yeah,
like
so
that.
remember when she was tweeting
bathroom?
like Drake can murder my pussy?
Yeah.
Like
But
that.
here's the thing.
That was almost 10 years ago, because that was October 2013, and I went as her for Halloween to like my
So
senior year
funny.
of college. To, like,
What
the
is
bar.
funny is if you go into Drake's mentions, I'm sure so many very normal people from across the country are tweeting
Yeah.
at him that he can murder their
Yeah.
pussy.
You're correct. It was July 2013.
What else did she do? Does it say?
Oh, a lot. I mean, she got that like tattoo on
Yeah.
her face. She was dating that guy. She was doing those super weird Instagram posts. She was wearing a wig.
It was feeling it. It all culminated in people feeling like this woman is a danger to herself and might hurt herself, which is where conservatorship is supposed to come into place when you're a threat to yourself or others.
She was put under involuntary psychiatric hold.
So 5150'd.
Yes. Britney's also been 5150'd
Yes.
quite a few times.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let's start where it all began. One fact that I found really interesting, actually, is that by all sources online, Britney is worth $60 million. I'm like, that's like nothing.
I'm sure like Britney versus what is the holding company
I
that
have-
she's related to?
Okay, so the whole 60 million thing. So according to her conservatorship document, she's worth 60 million. Okay, here is
Got it.
the thing with that. So there is a thing called is it accounts receivable or accounting reports? So accounting reports are what are submitted under those probate court of conservatorship.
Got it.
what is detailed in those accounting reports is all the money going out. So all the people getting paid, everywhere the money's being spent, if she's going to Pottery Barn, if she's going to Starbucks, all that. Who's getting paid, legal fees. What the 60 million comes in is the money coming in. And they estimate, and they being the people that are sort of trying to defend Britney, is that 80 to 90% of her income, let's say, is apparently too difficult to track because of the fragrances, because of the music deal. She has her hands in so many, different
The records
pots.
are sealed.
And
get it.
so
Can't
what
fucking
is
get it.
being
Unseal the
recorded?
records.
Yeah. So what's being recorded is 60 million, but it's estimated to be a lot more. Like
So-
her Vegas residency
what I was gonna
alone
say.
was bringing in $1 million a week.
Yeah.
So,
And
okay,
do-
so
yeah.
listen, folks, get better at accounting.
So
I
Yeah,
don't
I don't get it.
understand
So
how.
Jamie, her dad, his defense was it's just too difficult. Well, you
Don't,
talk.
you don't have to do it, Jamie.
Yeah,
hire a person.
There is
to
people you can
count.
hire. There are actually there's a whole industry of
What is going on? Yeah.
accounting reporting for conservatorships alone. Like that's literally their jobs. That's the whole industry. And someone from a podcast that I had listened to on this said that it would take them 2 months to figure this out.
What the hell? I don't understand what the hell.
Yeah.
This is so weird.
And
Yeah,
just another
so
way
they're
that
just-
Britney
it's
is
fraud.
getting,
Fucked over.
fucked over.
No,
That's
I
crazy.
definitely believe that she's getting financially fucked over. There's
Yes.
no shot that multiple people aren't stealing from her actively. Because
So-
apparently, is she going to stop him?
Right.
She's busy.
Right.
I mean, Taylor Swift is worth $740 million according to the internet. Rihanna is $1.4 billion comparatively. And like Britney Spears has been around longer, all those royalties.
It's probably just under like a shell company or something like that. That's not technically under her name. You know what I mean?
And she's
But it is
not,
like
when you are put in a conservatorship, you are considered unpersoned. So her father having
Whoa.
control
I don't like that
is
terminology.
Britney Spears. Yeah,
Unpersoned. What a term.
I know.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I don't.
Some days I wish
gotta-
I could be unpersoned. I'll
yeah,
tell you
I
that.
know.
Okay, so let's bring it all back to 2007. Okay, low-rise jeans. We're doing the thing. We got whale tails coming out our backs. It's
Yeah.
just like disaster.
We're in the height of the digital cameras on our wristlets. We were discussing.
Yeah, right. I couldn't
Swinging them
afford
around.
that. So early 2007, she was filmed famously. If you don't remember this, I mean, what are you even doing? She was filmed shaving her own head in a Los Angeles hair salon after leaving a drug rehab center.
So
What were your takes on that back then? Because I was like, oh, like she's new beginnings, you know?
I didn't know what to think. I mean, I guess I was 17 at the time. I was probably like, bitch is fucking nuts. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like a sophomore in high school, and so I was emo, and it was too cool, and so I think I probably was like, oh, she's losing it.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you mind if I take us back just a little bit earlier?
Please.
Okay. So I want to point out that since so her mom, Lynn, had like a daycare, basically. Her father, Jamie, alcoholic.
Where was this again?
In
Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Okay, I was
Kentwood, Louisiana. The boonies. And so her father, Jamie, was like a failed business guy. So he wasn't bringing in any money, and he was an alcoholic. So Jamie took Britney and Jamie Lynn. First off, can we just point out Jamie's the dad's
Jamie
name,
Lynn.
Lynn's the mom name, and they created a child and named her Jamie Lynn.
I had never put
These
that
people
to-
are trash bags.
I have been
These people are
researching
trash
this for
bags.
hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
Wait,
today
that's
and
the
yesterday, and I
funniest-
didn't even put that together. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
So
in my
this is
life.
what we're dealing with, okay?
That's like if I called my kid Laura Matthew.
Yeah, no, literally. Yeah. So, okay. So he's an alcoholic. Lynn takes the girls over to New York so that Britney can be a child star. And long story short, by the time she was an understudy in projects, never mind the Mickey Mouse Club, she was essentially the sole breadwinner for the family when she
my
was just
God.
a kid.
Oh, that's so
okay.
cruel.
Child
Her
labor?
mother,
Yeah.
child labor. Her mother swears Britney's money never supported our household, but we have to look at the facts. The facts was her dad was an alcoholic deadbeat. Her mom had a daycare center, kids come over to your house kind of thing and we watch them.
Yeah.
So this woman, this girl at the time, really had been taken advantage of by her family for forever. Could you imagine being 16 and having your job that you work for, going to pay your mother's and father's housing bills?
I'd be calling the shots, let me tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are making what I want for dinner. How about that? Chicken nuggets for all of us. Okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Fuck off. Yeah.
Cook them all up.
I'm not eating
Yeah.
the vegetables.
From,
Screw you.
Remember that scene in Telemarketers, which is a whole nother can of worms. Yeah, and he goes, cook them all
Cook
up.
them all up.
Oh, yeah. Laura, have you watched that yet?
Not yet.
Oh, it's so
Oh.
good. That's
I can't
another-
wait.
That's my recommendation for this podcast.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna give
Recommendation corner.
recommendation corner. Please watch Telemarketers. Unbelievable.
So
Anyway,
good.
Continue.
Okay, so did you, before we progress beyond 2007, I would like to talk about 2004 when we had the marriage incident.
No,
Or
I
is
didn't
that
even,
later?
No, I didn't even talk about this. So
Okay.
please bring this up. By the way, for those of you just listening at home, Kelly has brought flashcards.
Kelly's fucking ready.
I'm ready
I
to
knew
go.
We were like, we know who to call. We talking about Britney Spears. I know who to give a call to. Miss Kelly Taylor.
Okay, so the first time that Britney really was a public bad girl was in 2004 when she randomly got married in Las Vegas. So she's 22 years old. She's 22. And she basically, it's like she's got money, you know, she's fresh off a breakup with Justin Timberlake,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
because she was 18 when that was happening with him. And they, you know, that's when everybody was speculating about Britney's virginity and, you know,
Oh,
asking an
God.
18-year-old girl, are you a virgin? No one's asking JT that. I know it's
No
another.
one should be asking.
No one should be
18-year-old
asking
girl
anybody that. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's disgusting. But people were obsessed with it. Purity culture was a big deal. 2000.
Do you remember Purity Rings?
Oh, Selena
Yes.
Gomez
Yeah.
had one. Yeah, I was very much influenced by
That's
it.
so fucking crazy. Just walking around being like, I'm a virgin.
I know. I'm
Ew.
saving myself like, ugh.
Me and God are gonna fuck you.
So
Maybe
gross.
I lost my virginity at fucking like 14.
Yeah.
My mom's like, my daughter's a whore.
Mom, I can't have my purity ring anymore.
And I'm like, well, this is what happens when you raise your child in a liberal household.
yeah.
Kind
I'm
of
raised by TRL.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to run through it quickly. Okay, this note card is dedicated specifically to Jason
To
Alexander.
her virginity.
Yeah.
Jason
My
Alexander,
whole-
that's also
I know, that's
George
also-
Costanza's name.
yeah, that's also
funny.
George
Not that-
Costanza's name.
Not that one.
Okay, so this is from Jason Alexander's like own mouth. This is his account of it. So let's take that with the, you know, grain of salt just going into it. So according to him, you can kind of describe them as high school sweethearts, but not really. They knew each other since kindergarten, and for him, he's like, you know, we've been in love since kindergarten. I feel like it's a very romantic revisionist history, but regardless, you know, like if you were to look at photos of them as kids, it's like, okay, these two are friends, you know. So according to him, they were in love, best friends since kindergarten. And then when Britney was 22 in 2004, they take a trip to Vegas. She like balls out. She's like, I'm taking all of my, you know,
Louisiana
country.
friends.
Yes, exactly. Showing them
Aw,
a good
kinda
time.
sweet.
I know. I like
As she
that's
should.
kind of the dream, right?
The dream.
So, according to him, Britney, you know, they're hanging out. It's late at night, and she's like, "Come on tour with me." And he's like, "Oh, I can't. I got football. I got a scholarship." You know, the classic tale.
I'm busy.
And she's like, "Well, let's get married." And
Jesus.
and he's like, "I'm down. Okay, let's get married." You know, and according to him, he's thinking like, you know, me and this girl have always been so close, and now
I'm
we're
sure
gonna.
they were on drugs.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
Come
yeah.
on. I'm
They were
sorry, guys.
partying.
They were partying in Vegas.
Yeah.
And
And
she's
she's
not
she's
the
a
first time this
celebrity.
shit's happened.
Yeah, she's allowed to make mistakes. She's 22,
Also,
right?
oh well, go
And she's
get
the
married.
biggest fucking celebrity in the
Yeah.
world, literally.
Yes, absolutely.
Whatever.
So
Yeah.
I found
Do your
these
thing, girl.
these next few details to be quite funny. So they go to like, you know, 24-hour chapel as you do in Vegas, and the limo driver walked her down the aisle, which I thought was a very funny little detail. And there
It's like, you will not believe what happened at work
Yeah.
today.
So there was another couple there just getting married, you know, and a couple, you know, they obviously recognized Britney. They took a photo with her. That was the photo that was in the tabloids. That couple sold that photo for $100,000.
Wow.
Talk oh
Talk
my
about a
God,
good wedding
does
gift,
that
right?
couple want to be on the podcast?
Yeah,
What
right.
Yeah.
a investment opportunity.
Are you
team.
still married?
Are you
Did
still
it last
married?
longer than 55 hours?
best getting married story ever.
Yeah.
Like we made $100,000.
So those two, they run out, they do it. They basically have 10 minutes of happiness from the chapel to the limo where they boned back to the hotel.
Okay.
Oh,
They get to the
Get out of
hotel.
your purity ring.
Yeah, they get to the hotel. They tell people what happened. You know, we got married, exciting. Everyone starts freaking out. Britney's team starts freaking out. Immediately, her mom and dad start calling Jason Alexander and threatening him,
Whoa.
saying, we're going to, get you, your scholarship revoked, all
Oh
this
my
shit.
God.
So he described Britney's team as like Men in Black style. Like
Whoa.
basically separated them into separate hotel rooms. So basically kidnapped them for a few hours.
Wow.
And after a few hours, they come back to the same hotel room and they tell them, we're going to annul this marriage right here, right now. And you guys can continue on in this relationship. And let's say in 6 months, you get real married for real. So they're kind of like, okay, whatever. So they sit.
They were just like, I am so hungover.
Yeah,
you
literally.
would not believe.
Essentially. One would assume, right? So they basically sign the annulment paperwork. They go to dinner right after.
Okay.
The dinner's not even like, and like Britney's mom and dad flew there, big dinner. They take Jason like in the middle of the dinner and put him on a flight back to Louisiana. So
Wow.
they tell him,
They're adults. Like, relax.
I know.
Who
they-
hasn't gotten married and had it annulled 24 hours later? You're like, live a little. Loosen your butthole, Britney Spears' parents.
Yeah, no, they were not down for that because basically Jason lawyered up when he got to Louisiana and his lawyer was like, you have 30 days to contest the annulment. After the 30 days, you're done for. And Britney's team was allowing Jason to communicate with her. They were having phone calls, And so Jason was like, they're not going to do that to me. It's going to be fine.
Oh, God.
Wouldn't you know, 30 days pass. He calls the number and the line is just like beep, beep, beep. No, blocked. So he didn't contest it. 30 days passed. He couldn't,
Wow.
So in the annulment paperwork, this is what it said. In the paperwork that they signed, Plaintiff Spears lacked understanding of her action to the extent that she was incapable of agreeing to the marriage. 3 months later, she met K-Fed.
Whoa.
Yep. Well, I want to say something very important to note about Jason Alexander. This took place in 2004. He's had a sordid history since then. Okay, so in 2015, he got hit with a domestic charge. I don't know the details. He's kind of like a bumbling idiot, like he got
Like some guy from the backwoods of Louisiana.
who
Yeah.
doesn't know how to fucking act. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
we
not.
love our fans from Louisiana.
Well, like, are you someone that will just be like messing around in the TSA line thinking he can cut the line? That's going to get you arrested. So it's stupid shit like that. And
Yeah.
then one fateful day in 2021, he was at the Capitol insurrection
He
January
sure
6th.
was. Yes.
But according to him, he stayed outside. So he was never
He's like,
arrested
no,
or
no, no,
anything.
no. I
was there.
I was just
He
supporting
is-
a friend.
He is a big Trump supporter. He's a big
Well,
Trump
he lives
guy.
in Louisiana. Like,
Right. What
are you gonna
exactly?
do? Of
What would
course.
one expect?
Yeah.
And then the last thing that's all I found online was that he said, "Oh, I'm, a Trump guy and I stayed outside. I was there, but like I wasn't there."
that's crazy.
And then what's even crazier, he really has this unrequited love thing happening with her. That's why, like, when I was going through like his recount of like their time together and how quote unquote in love they were, he did try to crash her 2002 wedding at her house with Sam Ashgari. So,
No way.
yes, he did. He went to her house and was like, got like, pummeled by security before he even reached the door. 2022, sorry.
22. I was gonna say. I was
Yeah,
like,
2022.
wait. So he's still like actively seeking it out.
Yes, he is actively
Wow.
like,
God.
obsessed
You
in
know
love
what's
with her.
you know what Disney movies have done to my brain is I'm like they belong together.
yeah.
They
They
actually
belong together. That's Mariah Carey.
yeah, they should definitely he is the one.
Yes.
That's so crazy.
Isn't that crazy? So that really 2004 was like her first I'm a bad girl. Like I
Yeah.
did something bad.
Minus all the fucking borderline child porn that
Oh, no,
we've
that
released
was-
via
that's all
music
marketable.
videos.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That's
Good.
yeah.
That's being a good girl.
Yeah,
As a
yeah.
parent.
Girl? Oh,
that sells
God.
records.
Folks.
And so then, 3 months later, she met K-Fed. They had, after a culmination of 2 years being together, 2 kids later.
Right.
That's
Twins, right?
No, they were
Oh.
just, or I think they might be Irish twins.
Oh,
you know?
okay, yeah.
And
You know what Irish twins are?
No.
Irish twins are like if you get pregnant and then you have a baby and then like you get pregnant again, like
you
the
get pregnant
month
within
after.
that year.
Within that year. So then it's like if
Yeah. The kids are like 18 months apart.
yeah.
Why is it called Irish twins?
Because
Irish
people,
Catholic,
yeah.
they
Irish Catholic.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
because then they have like 10 kids in the span of 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. That's a tired lady.
Oh,
Whoa.
Yeah. Don't worry, they usually die off. Those kids don't last long.
I was
Famines.
worried.
Famines.
I was worried they were all going to make
Suicide.
it, you know? So
Yeah. That's why you have a bunch of kids, because you know you're going to lose
Are you
some.
0% Irish?
I think, as far as I'm aware,
Wow.
0%. I am
0%?
German and like Russian.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That explains your personality. Laura's like, we're getting it done.
Guys,
This way.
guys,
Sorry, to
we are
scream
getting
into
a
my-
promotion. This is what we should do.
That's so funny.
Yep.
Okay, so we're about to land right back at the head shaving incident. I just want to bring up this because this is when the narrative, we'll call it, I don't know, that sounds a little salacious, but just like Britney's getting married, she's, getting divorced.
We can call it the
There's-
narrative. Yeah.
There's an insane custody battle between her and K-Fed. Her parenting's constantly called into question. K-Fed's not so much. He's just a guy with, weird hats or whatever.
Wow, that's so surprising.
I know,
that in
so
2008,
shocking.
people were really mean to the mother of the kid. And
What
yes.
was, I'm sorry.
No,
what
you're
was K-Fed's claim to fame?
Backup dancer.
He's her backup dancer.
Yeah.
He was her back. Oh my god.
Yeah.
You think Lizzo's inappropriate? She's that pro.
Yeah. Oh my god. Listen, there's so many backup dancers that are like, I wish. Are you
I
kidding me?
know.
They got to go to a free sex show. This is great. I'm sure she paid for everything.
Literally.
I discovered that on my podcast. Okay. So sorry. So the only reason why I want to bring this up is because this is the era in which there's a common meme, I guess. You can buy coffee mugs with this saying on it. If Britney survived 2007, you can survive today.
Oh, that's cute.
That's
I like that.
yeah. My friend in college had that printed out and on her wall,
Oh,
which
she
I
barely
always saw.
survived,
And she
though.
really didn't
She
even
really
survive. So that's what's
So do we think
ironic
that's
about that.
kind of when things shifted for her? Because up until this point, it sounds like she was pretty lucid-ish. Like she was just acting out like Lindsay Lohan's done crazy shit. Like
Yeah,
She's allowed to
all
be.
it seems relatively
And so a lot of why her
normal,
parenting-
as much as normal as you can be in that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the reason why her parenting was called into question is because post-divorce, she's going out to the nightclub, she's having fun, and
God forbid.
She's a pop star,
She
folks.
even said she at this time we really didn't have a lot of contact with her. Aside, the only way social media wasn't really a thing aside from like MySpace, and she had a blog on her website in which she said that she went to this rehab facility. That's what you referenced before.
Yep.
And it was kind of, she said in her blog, it was humbling, but I'm not sure why I was even really there. So it was kind of like I went off to this rehab, but it wasn't really for sure why.
Interesting.
And
She wasn't like a rehab is traditionally when you're addicted to a substance.
Yeah.
What was the substance they said she was
I
addicted to?
think they were saying alcohol.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom, yeah.
They're like, you got it.
That's a hell of a drug.
You got to forget about that. Listen, lady.
Yeah. And she said, I think it's normal to go out after a divorce. And she's kind of like, I don't know why
is.
any of this is happening. So,
I'm not
so
even divorced and I'm
crazy.
going out. Like,
Yeah, why
Right.
not?
what the hell?
Right.
Wow, that's so insane. So she shaves her fucking head in 2007 after she gets out of this rehab that you were just talking about, and then she dropped her album Blackout. And
What were the hits from that one?
give me more.
That was that was
Yeah.
a good one. That
Yeah.
was a good
so.
one. It really was.
Actually, her performance of that, which I'm gonna cover in the at the MTV VMAs, was super criticized. Where people were like, "Oh, we thought that maybe she was gonna be okay, but maybe not."
It was a flop.
It was a flop, and
Why was it a flop?
she just sucked. I don't know.
She just she knew the choreography, but didn't really do it. She was a fat bitch, apparently.
Yeah.
She had the tiniest.
What do you mean?
So
She's a
literally,
grotesque
you don't remember
monster.
this? People were
No,
being
guys,
like, "Oh,
my
she's
parents
super
wouldn't let me
fat,"
look at
and
anything.
this
That was her
literally
being
That's her
called
being
fat.
super
This
fat.
is her being called fat.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Can you believe how fucking huge
Disgusting.
she is?"
Yeah.
And she literally is
I
my
can see
goal
her
weight.
abs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. No.
This is
2 children later, by the way.
I
She's
would
had
like
2
to have
children?
this on my
right now.
fridge.
Yeah.
And say,
Hey, if I
like,
get married
that's
and
my
look like
inspo.
that, then I'm like fired up. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
yeah. How funny is that? Well, also there's so many things like Jessica Simpson wore those like mom jeans that time, and everyone was
Jessica
like,
Simpson was just
Jumbo
She-
Jessica, my
she
favorite.
just had hips as a white woman,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
everyone was like, "You should kill yourself."
"You should
Yeah.
probably kill yourself." And by the way, she's like 5'1".
Yeah.
I don't know about how tall Britney is, but
I feel like
Either way,
Britney's like
Britney
5'8".
looks amazing in that picture.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she looks great. And listen.
How it was so the dancing was just kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it was just
was really
like-
slow, it was
and
bad,
the
it
lip
was-
syncing was way off. It was almost, it was like an SNL skit of a performance.
it was very, very bad, I have to say.
It was very bad.
And I remember
But
watching
give the
it
girl
and
a
being
break.
like,
Yeah, I mean, she literally did just get out of rehab. Like, let's try
Give
to
her
give
a
her some grace.
second.
Yeah, but without that iconic flop of a performance, we never would have gotten the "Leave Britney Alone" internet sensation video.
Yeah.
Was that
Yes.
what inspired that? Because that was
Yes,
Yes.
that was
iconic.
inspired by
I
that.
I
don't
have
know what
that
we're talking
somewhere
about.
in this, but
Cool.
yeah, where the
Oh my
guy
God.
goes, "Leave
Yeah.
Britney alone."
That was Chris Crocker. That is a dead name now because she is now Kara Cunningham.
okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Well, either
Um,
way, the mascara running every time I have my like if I wash my face after
Oh,
going out
yeah.
or something, and my mascara is like this, Matt goes, "Leave Britney alone." I'm like, "Oh, fuck you."
Amazing.
He's
That's
funny.
so funny. So anyway, she was like as Kelly was saying, she was going through a custody battle. Apparently, allegedly, there was a time that Britney, then 26, locked herself in a bathroom with their kids, and the police were called. Do you recall this?
I don't recall this specifically now.
Okay. Well, anyway.
But I mean, it's of the time for sure.
So after that, she was subsequently hospitalized, and she underwent a bunch of mental health evaluations, as you do in that kind of situation. And she was,
But I'm sorry. Well, we don't have the details on it. But like, was she being threatened? Like, were the kids?
I
why
mean,
was she locking herself in the bathroom? And like, was she calling the fucking police? Like,
No, the police were called on her. Ew.
all
I mean,
right,
if
so
you're in a
this sound-
custody battle and you're doing stuff like that, yes, you would have a evaluation.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's pretty
true.
standard.
Custody battles get so brutal.
I
though.
know.
Like,
brutal.
It's like both parents are just the bad guy, and
I
I
know.
feel like it brings out the worst in everybody.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
Don't
And every
have kids.
and not if every indiscretion is going to be in the tabloids.
I
That's,
mean,
that's really hard to go through that.
I know, it's so sad. So she was in back-to-back psychiatric holds.
Yes.
And then eventually Jamie, her father, petitioned for an emergency temporary conservatorship at the LA Superior Court.
Yes.
And somebody named Reva Goetz, commissioner,
great name.
approved it. Yeah. So 8 months later after that, Judge Goetz, or Goetz, whatever the fuck, ruled
with
that
Goetz.
ruled that the conservatorship would be made permanent.
Okay.
After 8 months,
yes.
why?
So,
Why do you get to make that call? What? Why? What could
I don't know.
possibly?
So-
where? I'm sorry.
I mean, the records are sealed.
the records
so
are concealed.
I
Call Barbara.
I don't know if it was quite 8 months. I think it turned around much shorter from
Oh.
temporary conservatorship to permanent, but that doesn't matter because what really matters
like this
here.
Distractify thing wasn't accurate. This
Well-
Bored Panda website wasn't. This isn't exactly correct.
Tweet from at XOXOXO Britney wasn't right.
Okay, so the whole thing with the temporary bless you.
Thank you.
The whole thing with the temporary conservatorship to the
Bless you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I almost said
you're welcome. Amazing.
Sorry. Continue.
Okay, so when he gets this temporary conservatorship, which was a little bit weird that he got the conservatorship for a 5150 because it's a little bit of like a harsh course of action, but when you have money, you can make anything happen. So whatever. So that's what happened. What was needed in order for the conservatorship to go from temporary to permanent was a capacity declaration. And so that is a note from a doctor basically saying this person, they can't shelter themselves, they can't clothe themselves, they can't feed themselves. This is the capacity declaration.
Wow.
So
Well, it's a really good thing that doctors are extremely reliable and only do
Yeah.
that.
well,
Thank God.
Well-
like otherwise it could be really dangerous in that instance.
yeah, absolutely. And so what's interesting here is that, okay, so Britney gets 5150'd on Thursday. This capacity declaration is needed for Monday.
Wow.
And at this time, Britney's in the hospital and she's lawyering up. Okay, so she has this guy. His name's Adam Streisand. Yes, related to Barbara.
Really?
Cousin, I believe, cousin to Barbara. She
It's a good family right
basically,
there.
yeah, she basically gets referred through her divorce lawyers to this guy, and Streisand's not allowed to go to the hospital to see her. They're telling him, "You're not allowed to see Britney." So she gets a court-appointed lawyer named
What?
Yes, she gets a court-appointed lawyer.
So Britney herself was trying to hire this real not if you're a court-appointed lawyer, I'm sure you're doing your best, but like
yeah, like a
she's trying to
like a
hoy-
privately
I mean,
sought after.
court-appointed
Yeah,
lawyers are typically people that just got out of law school. They're building their own resume, right? Like, so
I
it's
think
like,
or like I don't know.
or a friend of your dad that you know is saying.
Was
So-
this all happening in Louisiana?
No, this was happening in LA. Very important. This is all California law that I'm saying.
Okay.
So
very
this guy,
I picked up on an important
yes,
fact.
you
Look at me
did.
go.
Absolutely.
good job, Laura.
Absolutely. So Sam Ingham becomes her court-appointed lawyer. Take a guess how much he was paying himself per week from her money to be this court-appointed lawyer.
$100,000
So-
United States.
Free. That's my guess.
We fall somewhere in the middle. 10K a week to be
10K a
her
week. You're a
court-appointed
closer.
lawyer.
Yeah.
So you would
Yeah.
have won the
Closer to
Price is
free.
Right.
That
Price is
rounds
Right.
down to free, baby.
R.I.P.
What a
R.I.P.
fucking
Yeah.
philanthropist over there.
Okay, so 5 days. So this happened Thursday. Monday, there is a hearing. Her lawyer, Sam Ingham, never told Britney about the hearing
Are you
for
kidding
her
me?
conservatorship, which violated her Fifth Amendment right to due process. Okay.
Wow.
So
Also, I'm sorry. Why do you have to select a court-appointed lawyer if you don't want that?
it's part of conservatorship. Yes.
What?
Yes. Which actually recently, just in the year 2021, Gavin Newsom signed into law that now, even if you are facing conservatorship, you can still pick your own lawyer because they're saying you're not of capacity to pick your
And it's
own.
like, well, look how good I am at picking this fucking
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
give me a shot to.
I'm gonna pick that singer guy who did
So-
Cosby and all them.
Yeah.
Like, I
Oh,
want
yeah.
him.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's what I like.
put him on speed dial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in case, you guys. Shit ever goes down. I'm called singer?
I have him on retainer.
Yes, exactly.
Lizzo's using him.
We
Yeah,
got
she
him.
is. That she is. Good for her.
Good for her.
Okay, so Adam Streisand, the lawyer that tried to represent Britney, went to the court and was refused to represent Britney because she, according to the judge,
So frustrating.
isn't capable of hiring her own legal representation. And the reason why she was not told about the hearing is because the judge said, and this is bullshit, quite frankly, but the judge said that she is not of mental capacity to hear or know. It'll infiltrate her mental health treatment if she is to learn about this hearing. And is that hearing
Oh,
that
God. That's
the conservatorship turns into this probate conservatorship. Now, there are two important things here. Jamie Spears, her father, never filed a capacity declaration. So what you were saying of, oh, doctors can sign whatever, didn't even come into play here because it was
Really?
never filed.
Oh.
Yes. So capacity declaration stating that, she can't feed
And
herself, she can't shelter herself, all that shit,
the only
never
reason-
filed.
Also, okay, I'm sorry. The reason they initially put her under the temporary conservatorship is because she was having brushes with the law over a custody battle with her kids and had been
Acting
in rape.
erratically, getting 5150'd. Yeah.
And the 5150 is being put under the conservatorship, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 5150
Well,
is like
no.
if let's say like you can get 5150 over a lot of things. Like you can let's say you're doing an intervention on me and I have police there
Next
and
week.
I say I'll see you guys here next week.
We'll be doing it live on the pod. So.
And you bring police just in case I start lashing out
Yeah.
and hitting people or whatever the hell. And then I say I want to unalive myself. I'm trying
Yeah.
to get views on YouTube, so I'm not saying the real thing.
Yeah.
But if I said that, they would say, okay, 5150, they would take me.
Yeah.
Under involuntary take.
Yeah.
So it could have been something
So
that's
it's
like
involuntary hold, which is hard to do. It's kidnapping without it being a 5150.
So they thought she was a danger to herself, at
Yeah.
least temporarily.
or others.
Or others.
Or
yeah.
others, and then removed all her rights. And then when she moved past that, they kind of tricked her into never, I'm going to use tricked, like, broadly, into not being able to get an actual lawyer to maybe prove that these people who might be trying to take advantage of her
Yeah.
were actually doing that. And then secondarily,
Correct.
didn't even tell her when the fucking court date for
Yeah.
this argument might be occurring.
Yeah.
So February 2008, Jamie Spears becomes the full conservator. And with that, you have to go through Jamie to change anything about the conservatorship.
Jamie,
so at
Jamie
this
of
point,
Jamie Lynn Spears.
yes.
Yes.
father.
From
Father. Yes, it gets confusing because of the way the people named their children.
Such like trash.
Such trash. Like
That's what,
literally.
that's such a reminder to be like, oh, these people are trash.
Absolutely.
I also remember when, this is such an aside, but when Jamie Lynn got pregnant at like 16 or something, and I remember like, I famously came from the most liberal household in the world, and I was like, why doesn't she get an abortion? And my mom was like,
Oh, May.
Yeah, it's not like that
Are
for
you new
everybody.
here?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also like, I mean, they have plenty of money and all that stuff too, but yes.
Yes.
One thing that I want to touch on before we move on is there are two kinds of conservatorships. Do you go over this?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
So
Thank
there's-
God we have you here.
Thank
by
God.
the
See,
way.
guys, we
This would
called
have
in
been
the
such
troops.
a shitty episode without
call-
Kelly.
This is like when
There
when the
are-
army pulls in the Navy SEAls, you know?
I do. I
Kelly's
love
in like,
pop
oh, we
culture.
got him.
I'm like, we need the FBI for this one. I don't know. I
Yeah,
can't.
we need
now
a-
there's a small town cop trying to do my best. You know,
You're just the local,
I'm the
local
yokel,
precinct.
and I'm like, I can solve this murder.
The FBI walks in and they're like, listen, ma'am, can you take a seat? Give us your
Yeah.
files.
This is embarrassing for you.
You're
in over your head. Okay.
Don't worry, there's gonna be free Britney people watching, being like, "That's not right."
Yeah. Oh,
So-
definitely. Hi, free Britney people. Please like and subscribe.
This is
We
a
love
comedy
you.
podcast.
Yay. Okay.
Britney
Okay.
Spears is great.
We love her. So probate conservatorship is what Britney is under, and it's you can kind of liken it to just old people, like or people that are demented, whatever.
The mentors.
Yeah,
People
dementors.
who are dementors.
And there's no need to reinstate it. Like once it's in, it's for life until something outside changes that. The conservatorship that maybe the other celebrities that we talked about might be under, I don't know their situation, would be an LPS conservatorship. I don't know what LPS stands for because I forget. And that is initiated when there's like mental health concerns. So probate is like for life, and LPS is for like Britney having a freak out, and every year it's evaluated if it's needed. But they didn't do LPS.
That's
they
so
went
weird.
probate.
So well, I think we know why they did that.
Yes.
It's a good business move on their part. Honestly,
Truthfully, I
fucking
mean,
invest.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs right there.
that's a good business model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to also point out one more thing is that Jamie was not really in Britney's life until she became a pop star. The man was an alcoholic loser.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, Hit Me Baby One More Time and I'm a pop star and I'm dating Justin Timberlake that he's more in her life. And the most he was ever in her life was February 2008 when he became conservator.
Fuck.
That's it.
Mic drop.
That is wild. Should we refill our wine real quick? That feels
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
that feels like an appropriate moment.
So you guys might remember this. I remembered it a little bit, but she actually in what year was this? November of 2008. So right after her shaving her head, right after the conservatorship, she appeared in a docuseries called For the Record on MTV. Do you remember this?
Yes.
So she used to be like, and I remember seeing clips of her like behind, like in her green room and stuff like that, where she was like so bubbly, so over the top, like so nice. And then in this, she seemed like really sad. A quote from that documentary is, "If I wasn't under the constraints I'm under right now with all the lawyers and doctors and people analyzing me every day, if that wasn't there, I'd feel so liberated. When I tell them the way I feel, it's like they hear, but they're not really listening. It's bad. I'm sad."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
In that same interview, she said every day's like Groundhog's Day. It's just the same thing over and over and over again.
That's so horrible. Look how pretty she was.
So she did an interview and she's still under the conservatorship at this point. Oh, she's
The
beautiful.
conservatorship just started this same year.
Just started.
Yeah.
And she's literally doing interviews where she goes, I fucking hate this.
Without
Hello,
saying
American
what's
public.
happening. Right. Without saying I'm in a conservatorship.
So the U.S. doesn't know at this point that she's under, or not really.
Honestly, I think if in
Wasn't like-
2008 you were to say she's in a conservatorship, people would be like, all right.
So this
Yeah,
is the
that's
leave.
true.
This is August 2011. This is
Anyone out there make fun of Britney after all she's been through?
they got a point.
She lost
Yeah.
her aunt. She went through a divorce. She had 2 fucking kids. Her husband turned out to be a user, a cheater, and now she's going through a custody battle. All you people care about is readers and making money off of her. She's a human!
Oh,
I should
Free
be
Britney.
laughing. But
What you
know.
don't realize is
them.
that Britney's making you all this money, and all you do is write a bunch of crap about her. She hasn't performed on stage in years.
that's what he's really mad about.
Her song is called Give Me More for a reason, because all you people want is more, 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 more.
Okay, I just want to get to the leave
Leave her
Britney
alone.
alone part, and then we can move on.
You're lucky she even performed for you bastards.
Is this it?
Leave Britney
Whatever, you
alone.
guys do
Please.
Thank God. Okay, we understand.
This is
Everybody's-
what, by the way, this is the kind of energy we would like from the Risque Business fans.
Yes.
Leave risky business.
That's going to be me one day.
Risque.
Absolutely.
That is the energy we are looking for.
Thank you.
When I am
Please.
divorced with 2 kids in a custody battle.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so in 2010 through 2012, a lot of fans were noticing they were like, she's pretty lethargic on stage. And it was widely believed, though never confirmed, that she was made to continue touring despite not wanting to do so.
She was probably on meds, dude.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what was going on.
'Cause they have the ability to
Obviously,
say-
she's on medication.
You're going to be medicated like this. And you,
And also-
can't say no.
You can't say no, and also the fact that she has no free will or control of her own life. Maybe maybe the bitch was a little depressed. Maybe she was just a little sad about the
God
situation
forbid.
and needed
Bum.
I have
needed
full
some
freedom,
meds.
and all I can think about is being depressed.
Yeah,
Like,
and I'm
what?
still like, I mean, what's available?
So in 2011, she actually announced her engagement to Jason Trawick, who was a member of her management team. Do you remember this? I don't. And she was still under her father's guardianship, but during the engagement, Jason actually became co-conservator. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? Because that's fucking weird. Of her personal affairs, I guess maybe to like
Removes-
proxy through her or whatever to get a little bit of that control back. But I'm like,
I guess that's
something-
better.
Yeah, but how can you trust this guy?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Who
You know-
wait, I'm sorry. Repeat. Who is this guy?
He was a member of her management team.
And how long have they known each other?
I don't know. Do you know that?
I don't know.
Was he instated by her parents or?
I mean, it could
don't
have been
know.
arranged,
It doesn't matter.
but it could be like, oh, Britney needs a companion. So
Theory. It's a pretty good one.
yeah,
Anyway, so Jamie Spears still had full control of all of her career and finances, but Jason could dictate anything in her personal life. And then they ended up splitting up in 2012, probably because of pressure from her team and her parents before they could get married. And then he resigned shortly thereafter as co-conservator. And so Papa Spears, 100p control again.
yeah. I got this
Where
from
the fuck is her mom?
I was about to
I
say the
know.
exact same thing. Like,
suspiciously quiet, yet living in a house that Britney's estate has paid for. With that Jason guy, in the podcast, a podcast that I had been listening to just about Britney, is through the accounting reports, they had combed through pages and pages, like real investigative journalism happening for Britney. There was something in there about an annulment of marriage or like something like a dissolution of marriage, something like that. So it is theorized that she actually was married to Jason because they were, fiance, whatever.
Yeah.
And then in 2012, 2013, whenever that was, the marriage dispersed, became no
Wow.
more. And so she could have gotten married quietly and divorced quietly in that time. But we don't know because she was under a conservatorship.
So crazy.
And she did slip in an interview and say, I was telling my husband, my boyfriend, So there was an interview in which she did accidentally say
Oh,
husband, but I
interesting.
say, Joe's my husband
And
all the
let's
time.
not forget that this entire time she's touring and making
workhorse. Yeah.
millions and millions.
She's never
and
not working.
Speaking
millions
of that,
of dollars.
she was only given $2,000 a week allowance for a 4-year run of shows that earned 138 million. It says here pounds for some reason.
Yeah. Gross.
British website, I guess. So that more.
$2K a week.
Here's my argument. I feel like if you're lucid enough to go on tour, bitch is fine.
Yeah.
Give her control of if she does bad, she does bad. Sorry, the end.
Totally.
If she's not able to manage, if she can manage her emotional well-being in order to perform every night at that level, even if it's a little bad,
How many people?
she's in charge, dude. She's fine.
Yeah. How many people?
That's the new rule, okay? We put everybody on conservatorship on tour for a minute. If they can do it, then they're fine.
Under her conservatorship, she paid people a very handsome living wage.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many
She was
people.
Many,
Literally
many
running
people.
the equivalent of a company.
At one point, she had a professional conservator. So her dad was handling her estate conservatorship, and this woman, Jody Montgomery, I think is her
Yes,
name,
you're right.
handled her
Do we like her?
person. No.
No, there's no.
There's no one to like.
Heroes.
Yeah. No one's good in this.
Minus
So
the free Britney person.
yeah, we like.
yeah,
them.
we love Kara Cunningham.
Yeah.
Come on.
So she also said that her dancers were allowed to have fun on nights out. When she had
Hear
to
that,
live,
Lizzo?
when she had to live under her father's rules. So she goes, there's this weird conspiracy of people, people like treating me like, their employer, this superstar, but yet they treated me like nothing. Like it was like this weird, she was just like a figure that just went out there with them.
So strange.
So strange. During the residency in Vegas, she had hatched a plan with a man that she was in. She was in a secret relationship with to get her out of the country. Apparently,
Yes.
Oh, good for him. He sounds like a good guy.
Yeah, what's his name? I don't know why this. Is
This
so
guy
hard for
was
me to
like,
find.
this situation's kind of fucked, huh? Like, why are you not?
I don't know if he's necessarily a good guy because it's just another way to like get Britney isolated into yourself. Because he was trying to get her out of the country. His name completely escapes me at the moment.
Yeah, me too.
But basically, the plan was that she wanted to basically like have like a little cottage off the coast of London or something.
Oh, she's so miserable.
It's so sad.
She's got to get out of there. She also said that at this point, she this is a quote, kind of stopped believing in God. I didn't know how they could have 40 people leave my house every day and make me work from 8 to 6 at night, be seen every time I changed in the shower, no privacy, no door, nothing. I couldn't even smoke cigarettes. People on death row can smoke cigarettes.
Wait, they were still trying to pretend to be religious through this whole thing?
Oh no,
They're from Louisiana.
The Spears are people of God. Jamie Spears is a godly man.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that.
Yes. So, from 2014 to 2016, for a very long time, she didn't comment publicly about her conservatorship. But a New York Times report released in June of 2021 showed that Britney had been speaking up for herself behind closed doors all along. So she had been speaking up in court. She had been speaking up to like a bunch of people, saying like an investigator she told was like, she was like, I'm sick of being taken advantage of. I'm the one working and I'm making all the money, but everyone's on her payroll. So she's basically asking to terminate the conservatorship, which
And
makes
this
a lot of
is,
sense.
I'm sorry, you just said it, but what year was this?
2016. The
Yeah.
New York Times report came out in June of 2021.
She has been trying to get out of the conservatorship since it started.
Right.
But yeah, we kind of find out after the fact that it's like coming out in those years. My favorite fact from that time period is that in 2014, Britney was using Bitcoin to buy stuff for herself.
Wow, I didn't
Yep.
know that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's giving
Good for
financial
her.
freedom.
Yeah, I thought
Everybody.
of you. I thought of you when I picked up that little
Bitcoin
factoid
is
today.
Up a little bit today. It's still doing poorly. Okay.
I still have money in it.
I keep thinking that's in my head, that song that's like, anytime to do to in my dreams. What's that?
Oh
Yeah, I'm
God,
like, so
some of her
sad.
songs were so sad.
I know.
She's so lucky.
Yeah, she's a star, but she cries. I remember being like 14, being
Yeah.
like,
She's
she
crying.
is crying because she's a star.
Definitely crying.
Yep.
Oh, poor thing.
So January of 2019, she announced that she was going on an indefinite work hiatus, and she claimed that it was due to her father suffering a life-threatening illness. Basically, his colon exploded.
But she didn't actually say that.
Right.
The conservatorship said that.
And the conservatorship also said, I am dedicating my focus and energy to care for my family. We have a very special relationship, and I want to be with my family at this time, just like they have always been there for me.
Yeah. And
From her, but it's from the conservatorship.
when was that?
She should put
that
a
was
conservatorship on her father.
2019. So something that I picked up today was that this was a strike. She was going on strike, basically. She was going on strike because she was like, have to stop making money for all of these people. I just have to not work.
They'll lose interest real quick.
Yeah.
So during her Vegas residency, the first one, because she did have the one, she told the court that she wanted Jamie, her father, removed as her conservator because he had started drinking again. And so she wanted him to be subject to alcohol testing. And the judge said that was absolutely inappropriate. So even when she was in a position to try to advocate for herself and be like, this fucking guy is drinking, like my alcoholic father is drinking, the judge says it's inappropriate. And then that's kind of when the strike started.
Do you think this judge is like paid off or something?
Yeah, it must be. He must be.
Because that would be like if you have a past of alcoholism, then you're saying that she's incapable of making decisions and you're the one who's hammered.
When this is still in California?
Yes.
This judge is?
Everything's in California.
I wonder if this is I feel like there probably was some sort of like backhand payments getting made or something like that.
Something weird.
Absolutely. So we don't even know, her income's not being recorded. We don't know how much money
That
being
is crazy
stolen.
to me. We've still not gotten to the bottom of it's bananas.
Insane.
I'll go do it.
Yeah. Literally, I know. Doesn't it make you like
whatever?
wanna
Yeah, I'll take a couple weeks off. I'll take some
break
PTO. Go
into-
handle it.
Yeah, break into an Excel sheet to figure it out.
Yeah. Let me pull up a Google sheet. Knock this out for you guys.
Do a little VLOOKUP, figure it out.
Crazy. So in April of 2019, Britney had checked into a mental health facility amid reports that she had been struggling to deal with her father's illness. Sure.
Oh,
She was too happy.
Yeah.
They were like, she is just way too cheery.
so
about
it was reported in April that she did that. She had been in that rehab since January.
Oh.
Yeah, that was another weird thing where it was like it came out in the news that she was all upset about her father's illness. So she's in this rehab, April 2019, 18, whatever. January, that same year she had been put in. So she had been in this rehab this whole time, locked away like Rapunzel.
So fucking crazy.
And now we're getting to like, okay, so this is 2019, 2018 now. So now we're closer to
We're
like
close.
game time.
Yeah. So an
Social
anonymous
media time. Like we're up.
Oh yeah. An anonymous source claiming to have worked as a paralegal for a law office involved with Britney's conservatorship left a voice message to these podcasters. Maybe it was a podcast that you were listening to.
Maybe.
Whatever. Stating that
it was.
that Britney was admitted to the facility because she had been refusing to take her medication and was seen driving. Whoa. Which went against the guidelines of the conservatorship.
She's not allowed to drive.
No. She's also not allowed to drive with her boyfriend.
Like her boyfriend can't drive her.
No.
Right.
Why?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's absolutely insane.
I don't want to be under concern. Hot take, but I think that sounds
Yeah.
miserable.
Truthfully.
So August 2019, so that same year, Jamie, her father, allegedly had a physical altercation with Britney and Federline's then 13-year-old son, Sean
Oh, no.
Preston. Criminal charges were not filed against Jamie, but Federline, so her ex obviously, got a restraining order against,
The dad.
to keep them away from him.
So against Jamie Spears.
Yeah.
Yes.
And without Jamie, Britney can't see her kids. So it effectively kept Britney away as well.
I'm sure K-Fed's probably like, okay, like this has gotten, it's obviously horrible, but I also can kind of, I guess, understand that he wanted the kids separated from this
From the
fucking
madness.
madhouse.
Yeah.
'Cause
He's
that's
also getting
clearly not
So
healthy.
That's also, by the way, when Jodie Montgomery came into
Is that when that
play.
was? Okay.
Yes, because he had to be replaced after
Oh,
that
that's
for a
right.
second,
Okay.
and then she came in, and then now it's back with him.
Yeah.
as of September 2020.
What are our opinions on K-Fed right now?
I think he's a deadbeat. He gets $60,000 a month in
All right, make the math.
in what's it?
Child
child support. Yeah. So he needs to figure out what to do next when the kids turn 18 and that well runs dry, you know. So hopefully he's saving some of the money because it's not like he has a lucrative dance career to go back to, you know.
No.
I mean, he is whatever. I don't have an opinion on him.
Okay, so he's not like necessarily just being a good father out of this.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, Britney was never allowed to be a mom, so he had to be a good father.
Yeah. Okay.
So
These poor kids.
I know.
Man, there is no shot that they.
So sad.
Like, I hope they are in therapy right now.
So I want to go through because social media had a big hand in bringing awareness to this, and you know, people putting the pressure on to like get her free. So there was. I want to bring up this Page 6 article I found that's 10 clues Britney Spears fans.
I love Page 6.
Yeah,
The fact that we had to listicle.
Yeah,
I know.
For conservatorship.
Life after COVID was weird.
Yeah.
So they thought that these were a cry for help. So
10 ways in which Britney Spears is crying for her freedom.
So she posted in May 27th of 2021, she posted the food pyramid. And
Sure.
Yeah, she wrote, "No matter what curveballs life has thrown at you, no matter how many times you feel or may have been disrespected, no matter how many times you've cried or worried, no matter how many times you feel like God has given you way more than you can handle, always trust help and others for their advice."
With the food pyramid?
Yeah.
What is she saying?
What is she saying?
That's really funny.
She also
That's really chaotic.
I don't know what the fuck, dude. The next one was normalize starting over as many times as you need. It was just a quote that she posted, which is kind of nice.
Been there, girl.
Very okay,
And then she
cute.
said, kind of where I'm at the moment. And a bunch of emojis are like, whatever.
Very real. Very real.
She goes, working on some amazing gourmet food in the kitchen. I just can't get the sauce right.
I'm the sauce in this metaphor that I've created by AP English.
I guess so. I mean, it's pretty insane. She also, on September 23rd of 2020, she posted a photo of her on the beach with her legs up in the air and her arms out making like a T. And she goes, turn the photo upside down and you will find a T for teacher, T, test, tomorrow, time, 2, 10, tool, try, thanks, they. I mean, we could go all day with this, right? The words they are on the end, they are trapping her, one person speculated. And another person goes, she's spelling out 9/11 with her last.
I like the Sesame Street vibe that she had.
I mean, it's like, try truth. Truth begins with T. Why didn't you say that, Brittany? What's
It's
the
insane.
truth?
I mean, I remember people trying to decode. all
I
of these
remember.
Things. So
I remember
fun.
trying to decode myself.
Absolutely.
Here's her in the shorts and these. She
Also-
loves these flowy crop tops and shorts. She really
loves
loves
a peasant
them.
top.
She loves a peasant top.
Loves a
Again,
peasant top.
very much stuck.
Yes. So anytime she wears a color yellow, people think that it's like, I don't know, to send them a signal she's doing okay, apparently.
Or, yeah.
And then on this particular post, it's just a photo of her in a yellow peasant top. There was a flurry of people tagging the FBI. The FBI is like, okay.
Yeah, we're busy.
Also, there's one of her nails being chipped, and all these people were like, no one's caring for her. Her nails are chipped. I'm like, girl.
Yeah,
Oh God.
Let's see. What else is a good one?
Are these the more recent ones too? Because some of the
Yeah,
stuff that she's
see,
posted recently.
This is actually like
So this is 2020. So we're still conserved at this point. We're
still
still unpersoned.
Still conserved.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, this is actually funny. I'll expand this. So like here are her ones after the conservatorship. They definitely get
Ended.
weirder.
Yeah.
Much, much weirder. So she's in bed
So
naked.
now she has access.
She is, I don't know what's going on here.
They're creepy. They're kind of like they freak me out a little bit.
They do freak me out.
Well, she's a 40-year-old woman trying to be sexy.
It's like
Ew.
feels like
And like get
which
a
is
fucking
horrifying. What's also crazy about it is like it feels like the beginning scene of a horror movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like always got the jerky cutting,
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
the music.
Yeah.
Like recently, she's been doing the music that's been like fucking DJ'd.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. I don't know what the fuck is going on, dude. I mean, obviously she does suffer from like severe mental health. No one's saying
She's been
doesn't.
I'm sure she was on fucking crazy medication through this
Lithium.
entire period.
Lithium.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's bad.
So actually, I'm going to talk about this. So she, in court, I believe this was June 2021.
Yes.
So this is when things really started to turn, and she was close to getting out of this conservatorship. People were really vocal about it. There was the hashtag Free Britney movement. People were in the streets. They were obsessed with this. And she told the court, so she spoke out loud in the court for, I don't know, the first time ever maybe, or in a long time?
There
or?
was one other time where she spoke, which I believe was 2018, and it was the same judge that heard her out this time in 2021. And so one other time she spoke, but it wasn't open. It was closed. This time it's open to the public. And
it must have been madness.
Madness.
Yeah, and they tried to close it right before she spoke.
Wow.
They tried to close it, and someone was saying, like, in interest of her children that are minors, and she spoke up last minute. She was like, well, you've exploited me my entire life, so I think it's fine if it stays public. And the judge was like, okay, it'll be open. And that's how we have the recording.
Good for
that we know
her.
now. Yep.
So there are a few things that she said. I'll go over the big ones. So she said that she is not okay. She goes, despite Instagram posts featuring her smiling and dancing, the singer says it was all a lie. After I've lied and told the whole world I'm okay and I'm happy, it's a lie. She said, I thought just maybe I said that enough because just maybe if I said that enough, it would become true because I've been in denial. I've been in shock.
Affirmations.
Yeah. I've been in shock. I'm traumatized. Fake it till you make it. But now I'm telling you the truth.
I'm not happy. I can't sleep. I'm so angry. It's insane. And I'm depressed. I cry every day. And the reason I'm telling
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be worth dropping in the audio, honestly, for your listeners to hear, because it's powerful to hear her speak.
We should.
Yeah, I would.
Okay. I'll put it over your voice, Mae.
Okay. The other thing is that Spears says that she hasn't been allowed to get her IUD removed because they didn't want her to have more children, but she desired to, I don't know why I just said it like that. She wanted to get married. She desired a child. But
Her womb yearned for a babe.
but it did.
It did.
She wanted
her
another
womb was
kid.
yearning. Okay.
Yeah.
And anyway, they wouldn't have let her have it.
in her statement, she kept calling it an ID. Not
Yeah,
an
an
IUD.
IUD. Oh no, that's
Brittany.
poor Brittany.
Did she go to school growing up?
Probably not.
No, she didn't go to.
No.
No, she was in she was a kid star, so she was in
I was gonna say, I was like,
school,
she probably didn't have an opportunity to really get a traditional education.
No.
Yeah.
Jesus.
She compared.
So how is she supposed to organize with the United States? I went to college, and I still feel worried about if
I have no idea.
I'd be like, I think I need a lawyer. That feels like a key piece of this. Beyond that, I don't know. It's got good luck to me. Oh, that poor woman.
So
That's
she
really taken advantage of.
She also compared her experience to sex trafficking, which I kind of agree with.
Yeah.
She says after she failed a
not
psych
worse,
test, Spears said she was forced to pay $60,000 a month to live in a home in Beverly Hills to do a small rehab program. While there, she described how she was forced to work without access to her credit card, cash, phone, and passport. She goes, the only thing similar to this is called sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Poor thing. And she was able to come up. Does she have a lawyer representing her at this point?
I don't know.
So is she coming up with this herself?
I don't
Or maybe
know.
she's reading comments online.
She did
Yeah.
eventually get a new lawyer. Yes, this is actually in this testimony is when she says get this fucking guy out of here.
Holy shit.
I want new counsel, and she got new counsel.
So she also said that her therapist believed lies from others. So she said that that when she refused to participate in a Las Vegas residency, her therapist received 1 million phone calls about her behavior in rehearsals and failure to take her medication. She says all this was false. He immediately the next day put me on lithium out of nowhere. Lithium, dude, that's hardcore. And she goes, he took me off all my meds I had been on for 5 years out of nowhere, and lithium made her feel drunk. She goes, I couldn't even have a conversation with my mom or dad really about anything. She said, adding that her doctor had nurses at her home to monitor the medication. She goes, there were 6 different nurses in my home, and they wouldn't let me go into my car to go anywhere for a month. She said that her dad was all for it.
This is all because originally out the gate she was having basically a rough patch.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And
then
then
horrible.
she also said that everyone involved in the conservatorship belongs in jail.
I
would agree.
mean,
Yeah.
I think they're criminals.
Absolutely.
So FBI,
Yeah.
where the fuck are you?
So she also spoke directly about her family, including her sister, Jamie Lynn. She said her sister, her brother, her mother also. She goes, I would honestly like to sue my family, to be totally honest with you. I also would like to be able to share my story with the world and what they did to me instead of it being a hush-hush secret to the benefit of all of them. I want to be able to be heard on what they did. Sorry, I'm like so drunk right now. On what they did to me by
You're on
making me
lithium.
keep this in for so long. I've been so angry. I cry every day. It concerns me. I'm told I'm not allowed to expose the people that did this to me.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know where I land on her siblings being culpable in this because
They're probably being threatened too.
that's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, like I'll put you under conservatorship or
Yeah,
whatever the fuck.
I
I mean,
know-
seriously, what a way to
I know
like, talk about
nothing.
being your sister's on timeout. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And
Big time timeout.
big girl timeout right there. That's a
Yeah.
big girl timeout.
so I know it's like, you know, in pop culture, the Free Britney movement is very much against Jamie Lynn. You know, she's culpable. That she had done an interview, I think, with somebody, and everyone's like, screw her. And I probably shared the same sentiment of like, what are you talking about? You know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But then again, I can't blame. She would have been a minor at the time of all this going on. I can't blame her.
Yeah,
for this.
if she's a
No,
minor
it's
during this,
crazy.
like, I
and she's a
can't-
mom, famously.
And she's a mom. It's weird what happened, you know, how that kid came to be.
So what has happened since? So what has happened since she has been now freed, which was like a huge moment. Whatever, everyone was so excited about it. Blah blah blah. It's kind of been a little bit of an insane
Yes.
time.
Yeah, things have not gotten better.
So she got married. She's now getting divorced, which is fine. That happens to people, whatever. But there's a lot of like talk about their wedding and how it was like super weird. All the images from the wedding are very blurry. A lot of them look like AI almost.
And that guy tried to break in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still on his team.
It's very strange. If you look up all the pictures, they're like super blurry. They're very
Yeah.
strange. And there's all these celebrities that are, so people are like, she's not really free, at least, or she's AI. Some people even speculate that she's not even around anymore. And this is like an AI thing.
Yeah, like a body double. I don't know.
And if you hear celebrities talk about her wedding, they get very strange. Have you
Yeah,
seen
they're
that?
like,
I
yeah,
have
I
seen
have
one or
seen
two
it.
clips of that.
Yeah. They're like, it was beautiful.
yeah, it was beautiful. She was so happy. I don't know.
It's very weird. Very
I-
weird.
Yeah. Yeah. My feeling is that my feeling on what's happening with Britney right now is that she is deficient now because of all the trauma of this conservatorship that went on from 2008 and she was relinquished from it in 2021.
Oh my
That's
God.
over a decade of being a workhorse prisoner. She basically was a dairy cow.
Yeah.
She just was, you know, put out and you know, suctioned up to her nips and people were sucking on those teats, man. Like she this was her life. I think, bless you.
Thank you.
I think that she really is mentally deficient now from it, which
Yeah.
is really sad. And I think that
I mean, seriously, I have one bad week at work,
Oh
and I
my
have like a
God.
minere meltdown
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
the end of
And
it. But
the
I'm like, I
entire-
need rehab. I need to go to a
I know.
place
I'm like, I need to go
I need to
and
go to
just-
the meadows.
I gotta go clear my head at the farm.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that she did give us though is probably the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Balls. Holy shit, fuck balls. Whoa, girl, fuck. Wow. Oh my god. Holy shit, wow, fucking balls, eh? Yeah.
It's like the-
Holy shit, balls.
is around.
Balls. Holy
Yeah. I mean, that was unbelievable. That was so fun.
I know. She's like, fuck you. I'm saying what I want to say.
Yeah, we're like, yes, queen, yes,
Yeah,
fuck balls.
Also there was a video that Kevin Federline posted that alleges that she's yelling at her children.
That was a weird one. I saw.
Oh,
this
yeah.
one.
And it just sounds like she's like parenting.
Being a
the
normal
Who
children.
hasn't had a weak moment with their annoying 11-year-old kids? Like,
Right.
So basically, the context of it is like the kid was acting up or something. Like, it looks like they were in like a drive-through.
They were in a car, yeah.
They were in a car, and she's just yelling at these kids that they need to respect her. And then she told one of her kids that she was a little scared of him when he acted crazy, right? Something like that.
I'm not remembering that, but I
Point
believe
being,
you.
it was a mom yelling at her. My mom has yelled at me way more than that. Let me tell you that.
Yeah,
And I'm
My
totally.
mom has punched me in the face. Like, legitimately, have you never been a teenager?
we are not going to
Truly.
yes and that, but
We're from New Jersey. It's just,
yeah.
you know.
It's your culture.
But the bottom line
Yeah.
is like I think it was supposed to be this like gotcha moment from him, and
Yeah.
it was really
it made her
not.
look more lucid than anything. I was like,
It
oh yeah,
did.
she's being like a responsible
Yeah.
adult.
I know, and she posts some crazy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I think anything current day related to her children is we have to collectively all realize that she hasn't been allowed to be around her kids. And so it's like trying to now connect and parent when you haven't been around them, you haven't been allowed to be around them. Like connecting with a 13-year-old, he's like, fuck you, bitch. Like
it's really, and
it's
he's
what
been told a
13-year-olds
million
do.
things. Obviously,
Yeah.
he's been told
Oh,
a million
yeah.
things his entire life, and it's so much easier to convince somebody. Or to convince somebody of a lie than to convince them that they've been lied to. There's like that
Absolutely.
famous saying. It's
Yeah.
completely fucking true.
Yeah.
That's all I have, unless you guys have more things to say about this. I know it's been a really long episode, but there's a lot to cover. There's a lot of. I mean, we didn't even get through the surface, honestly.
I know.
There's
There's
whole ass.
it goes deep.
I'd be curious. So I know she's getting divorced now. Do we have an opinion? I've seen like some conspiracy stuff on the
Sam
ex-husband.
Ashgari.
Allegedly, they had like an ironclad prenup.
Yes.
But that's all alleged. Who fucking knows?
Is he fighting it or is he?
I don't know.
Abiding
I haven't heard anything about him fighting it.
Also, he was like a staunch defender of her for a long time. But I'm always just like, what do you want?
I know.
Because he's pretty handsome too. And like, Britney was beautiful back in her day, but like,
She's
still-
been tormented. You know?
I mean, she looks mentally ill.
She does
Yeah,
look
she
real
looks
mentally ill.
like
Poor
she looks like
thing.
someone that has been traumatized and beaten into submission. But when it comes to Sam, he's an actor. I am of the belief that, and this is not an original thought, you can find people that share this sentiment on the internet, but I'm of the belief that he kind of wanted to use her for clout. And then once he realized what he was getting into, it
Yeah.
was like, I want to go out and be a fuckboy, and I don't think this is really
isn't
going to work
as,
out
like,
for me.
as many like bougie brunches as I thought it was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot more like caring for my mentally ill.
Well, also
yeah.
part of her getting out of the conservatorship is that there was like a clause in it that you're supposed to like keep her away from sharp objects and stuff.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, there was like I read this on something, whatever the fuck, because allegedly she was so afraid of getting taken in the middle of the night. Like she thinks that people are going to take her to a facility in the middle of the night. So she sleeps with a knife under her
Like
pillow.
Paris Hilton style Provo camp.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Ooh, heavy.
So
It's really sad. And the reason why I brought up her family sort of using her as a cash cow from the Mickey Mouse days was because this is what they've done. This is what they've always done to her. And it's really sad because the woman is mentally ill now as a result of the trauma, I think, that, she went through. And when you get out of the conservatorship, you can do whatever you want. So she's off the meds all of a sudden, and she's now being able to post crazy stuff. And that's why we're seeing her out there naked with a tiny flower over her, private parts. And
Well,
Yeah.
even if she wasn't sick before, if you go on that much medication, then you
you
all
are-
of a sudden
you are
stop it.
changed. Yes.
You're
yes.
not only changed, but it's going to take her years.
I
to-
almost-
Hopefully, eventually she'll.
I'm sorry. I just I was lamenting about how I had stopped my Lexapro cold turkey, and that I promise you almost sent me to a mental institution.
Oh my God.
it was horrible.
You gotta
and I
wean
wouldn't
off.
wish it on my worst enemy. So this girl is just being all of a sudden, okay, I don't have to take this medication anymore. Rightfully, she's like, I don't want to take it, not realizing, girl, you are setting yourself up to really screw yourself up mentally for doing damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take your vitamins.
Emotional
Take your vitamins.
damage.
Take B12.
Get some sleep. Drink a water. Drink a water.
Kelly, we should have asked you this earlier on the podcast because I hope we didn't lose too many people by now. But where can people find you?
Okay, you can find me on the internet. My Instagram handle is @HelloThisIsKelly, and I, of course, also have a podcast.
The best podcast of all time. We've both been
done
guests.
it, and it was an absolute delight.
Fantastic guests. Mae was, I believe, episode 1. Laura, I believe you were episode 4. So check that out on YouTube. It's called I Feel Fat Today. You can find us on Instagram at I Feel Fat Today. It's a podcast where we talk about diet culture, body insecurities. It's kind of just like human experience stories as well. Talking about just insecurities in general. So it's a really good comedy podcast.
It's really awesome.
It's awesome, and it's very honest and fun.
Thank you.
I think it's a conversation we don't have enough of. So
look at that. Amazing. And as always, please like and subscribe to our podcast as well as Kelly's.
Tell your friends. Tell 3 friends. That's the rule.
3 of them. You have 3 friends. I know you can do it.
Do you have 3 friends?
And then
we'll find out, I guess.
Are you in a conservatorship or no?
Do you have? Tell your conservatorship family. Okay, I don't care.
Or I don't give a fuck. And follow us on Instagram, May_Planner, and @Laura Sogar.
Yes. And Risque Business News on
and
Instagram as well. Follow us on YouTube. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.